Hello everyone and welcome back to a special episode of Ask Us Anything or AWOA, where we've gathered your questions from the internet to answer them. In today's special episode of AWOA though, we'll be talking specifically about the brand new ROG Ally from Asus. Ever since it debuted in Malaysia, we've been getting a bunch of questions about it and we thought it would be best to gather them all up for this episode of AWOA. Lukman, cue the intro. The first question we have today though, it's a simple one. How much does it cost? Now, we've seen people ask this even after it launched in Malaysia, so let's get it out of the way first. The ROG Ally can be yours for 3,299 ringgit with just one model packing an AMD Ryzen Z1 Extreme with 16 gigs of RAM and 512 gigs of storage. You'll also be able to get additional accessories such as an ROG travel case for 199 ringgit and the ROG gaming charger dock priced at 299 ringgit. If you want even more performance for gaming, you can also get one of Asus's external graphics cards with the ROG XG Mobile eGPU starting at 6,999 ringgit. Moving on to our next question, which again is pretty popular one among our viewers. Can it run Diablo 4? Well, the short answer is yes, of course, but the long answer is that, well, your mileage may vary. Officially, the ROG Ally meets the minimum requirements for Diablo 4, but that's for playing at 720p with low settings at 30 FPS. Now, I've just only started playing Diablo 4 on the ROG Ally, but from my early gameplay, it shows that with Fidelity FX Super Resolution 2 turned on, I was able to get medium settings to run at 1080p and mostly 60 FPS with occasional dips here and there. Now, this was running at turbo mode though. We'll have more performance numbers for Diablo 4 and other games coming up in our full review of the ROG Ally, so stay tuned for that on the SoyaCincau channel. Now, there are also some of you out there asking about the ROG Ally's specs. Well, as we mentioned earlier, the ROG Ally officially available in Malaysia is powered by the AMD Ryzen Z1 Extreme processor, which has 8 CPU cores and 12 RDNA 3 compute units in its integrated graphics. There's also 16 gigs of 6400MHz LPDDR5 RAM and a 512GB PCIe Gen 4 SSD. A 40W battery meanwhile with 65W fast charging keeps the lights on. You'll also find a 7-inch IPS display, pushing a Full HD resolution with a 120Hz refresh rate, a peak brightness of 500 nits, and a 7ms response time, as well as full coverage of the sRGB color gamut. A layer of Corning Gorilla Glass Victus over it though allows for some scratch resistance. The whole chassis weighs in at just 608 grams with the AVXY controller layout likely familiar to those of you who already use an Xbox controller with your gaming PC. Now, we've also got one person asking us if you can run Microsoft Office since the ROG Ally comes with Windows 11, and yes you can. In fact, because it runs Windows 11, the ROG Ally even has Microsoft 365 and its suite of tools such as Word and PowerPoint pre-installed, just like a regular PC or a laptop would. Of course, you would need an active Microsoft 365 subscription to use it, or you can just use its browser version instead. And that concludes today's episode of AWOA on the ROG Ally. Remember to like our video if you liked it and subscribe to us here at SoyaCincau if you want to see a full review of the ROG Ally. Thanks again for watching. This has been Raymond, signing out.